Hello and welcome to Mr. Jealous's class. I am going to teach today on writing and solving equations based on geometric shapes and models. If you need an essential question for your class, here it is. It is, how can I use given information and an image to create and solve an equation to find an unknown value? It's a lot of words. Let's see what that means. So in our first question over here, it says, using the given information to the left, determine the measurement of angle B. First of all, I probably should have said that I would have multiple pens and pencils in different colors when I draw and write the examples down. It usually helps helps to retain information. So we have an image here, and I've got my given information. Let's look at the given information. It says straight lines have a sum of 180 degrees. A right angle box have a sum of 90 degrees, and congruent means same shape and size. So I have to determine the measurement of angle B. Well, I see angle B here, and I see another angle over here, 141 degrees. And those two angles, when added together, make a straight line. So if I take my 180, the straight line, and I subtract 141, I should get angle B. Let's see, what is 180 minus 141 is 39 degrees. So angle B is equal to or equivalent to 39 degrees. Now the question down here, it says, what equation using the variable B would allow you to solve for the missing angle? So if I know this angle here, angle B, is added to, combined with 141, it will equal a straight line. So the equation would be B plus 141 equals 180. And then if I were to solve this equation, I'm going to subtract 141 using the subtraction property of equality. And then I would get B equals 39. And again, they match up. So here's my equation. And the equation in this case, probably not necessary to do, but it's good practice for when we move into more challenging shapes. Here's the second image. What I want you to do right now is to pause your computer, and I want you to try and go through. Use the given information to the left, determine the angle of measure B, and write the equation that would go with it. Again, I see angle B, and I see 50 degrees, and I see the two angles here, and I meant to, so pause your computer. And then they do make a straight line. So a straight line is 180 degrees. It tells me up here in my given information. So 180 minus 50 would give me this other piece. So 180 minus 50 would be 130. And then the equation that we would write is B combined with 50, so B plus 50 is 180. And then when I would solve for B, just to confirm that we're right, subtract 50 on both sides, and you would get 130. If you haven't already, pause your computer, write that information down. We'll move on to the next slide. In this image, it's a little bit different than the previous one. I noticed that I have a right angle box here. So looking in the given information, it says right angle box have a sum of 90 degrees. Sum of 90 means they add together to equal 90. So using the given information to the left, determine the measurement of angle B. So I have B here, and I have 68 degrees here. It looks like B is a smaller angle than 68, and they add together to equal 90. So what is 90 minus 68? 90 minus 68 would be 22 degrees, because 90 minus 70 is 20, and then 2 more to get to 68. So 22 degrees should be this angle. My question, does it make sense? Well, it makes sense because 22 is smaller than 68, and you can tell that this angle is smaller. So what equation will we use? They have a sum of 90 degrees. Well, I'm just going to add B and 68 to equal 90. And then we would do the subtraction property of equality, subtract 68 from both sides, and that would give us 22. If you haven't already copied it down, pause your computer and copy it down. And then we're going to come to the fourth example. Why don't you pause your computer right now, try and figure out the measurement given the image and the given information, and then write your equation. Okay, now that you've paused your computer and you've tried it, let's see if you're right. I have a 90-degree box right here. So that tells me that this 37 degrees and B are 90 degrees as well. And it has a sum, so B and 37 when added together equal 90. So then the other way to think about it is 90 minus 37 would be 53. So 53 degrees. And it helps to figure out beforehand, if we can figure out beforehand, what our answer should be. The equation that we would set up is B plus 37 equals 90. And then when we do the subtraction property of equality, we subtract 37 from both sides and you get B equals 53. And again, that would make sense because it looks like this 37-degree angle is a little bit smaller than the 53-degree angle. Okay, let's look at the next one. It says, using the diagram, identify the one equation that would not allow you to solve for y. So we have 5 different equations here. Why don't you pause your computer, look at the information, look at the diagram here, and figure out which equation doesn't work. Okay, now that you're back, what I notice here is that 7 is the whole length. So it would equal 7. And then y and 3 here, when combined, are equal to 7. So in the first equation, it says y plus 3 equals 7. Yeah, that makes sense because we're adding y and 3, and we get 7. In the second equation, it says 3 plus y equals 7. Well, the only difference between the first one and the second one is that we flipped 3 and y. So that makes sense. In the third equation, it says 7 is equal to y plus 3. Well, letter C and letter A look the same, except we just flipped the expression of y plus 3 from the left side to the right side. And 7. This one looks the same. In letter D, it says 7 plus 3 equals y. And that doesn't really make much sense to me because if I had 3 here and I added it to the 7, it would bring this box out further over here. So I don't think that one's right, but I'm going to go to the end and I'm going to go y plus 3 equals 7. Well, here, that's silly. Letter E and letter C are the exact same. So I'm going with letter D, and letter D is correct. And all of these equations, if you were to solve them, you would figure out that y equals 4. If you want to pause your computer and copy that down. And then the last one, and this is going to be our last one, same instructions. Use the diagram, identify the one that does not work. Well, what I notice up here is I have x and another x and another x and another x and another x. And when I combine them all, they're the same distance or length as 10. So let's look. X plus x plus x plus x plus x equals 10. Yeah, that works. Adding x. Let's look at the second one. It says 5x. Well, 5 times x. There are 5 x's. And multiplication, which is shown right here, is just repeated addition. So that one works. In letter C, it says 3x plus x equals 10. We just add those together. You would get 5x equals 10. So that one works. In this one, it says 4x equals 10 plus x. No, I don't think this one works because we have 4x's here is equal to 10 plus x. You would bring this one down here. That one doesn't work. And then in letter E, it says 5x equals 10. Well, letter E and letter B are just reversed like we saw in the first one. So I'm going with letter D again, that one. And when we solve all the other equations, you should get x equals 2. I've got a few tips for success. The first one, there's typically more than one equation you can use to solve for missing information. The second one, use the given information and critical thinking skills to determine your answer. The third one, make sure your answer makes sense. And then the fourth one, substitute your answer back to confirm you are correct. I hope this helps you. and I hope you have success.